Silence is power. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, where noise is constant and distractions scream for attention, the one who chooses to remain quiet often holds the greatest strength. The loudest person in the room is not always the most powerful. The one who speaks the least, who listens the most, who observes in silence, is often the one in control. Power lies in restraint, in the ability to act without the need to explain, to progress without needing validation, and to dominate through action, not noise. The wise understand that talking is cheap, but results are expensive. The disciplined know that energy wasted in words could be redirected into movement, into action, into impact. You don't have to tell people who you are. Show them. Let your results do the talking. Let your silence speak volumes through your achievements. Those who are truly focused are rarely loud. Their attention is on the task, not on the applause. They understand that success doesn't come from declarations, it comes from execution. They have nothing to prove because they are too busy improving. They don't chase attention. They attract it through relentless action, through consistent effort, through quiet dominance. While others talk about what they're going to do, they've already done it. While others plan endlessly, they act swiftly. While others seek approval, they seek mastery, and in the end, it's not the noise that wins. It's the quiet storm, the one who moves in silence, strikes with precision, and lets the outcome be the roar. Speak less, do more, that's the secret. When you talk less, you conserve your power. You become unpredictable. You remove the opportunity for others to judge, to doubt, or to interfere. You guard your dreams with silence and build them with focus. Every moment you choose not to speak is a moment you can use to move forward. While others are busy explaining their plans, you're executing yours. While others are justifying their goals, you're reaching them. When you stop trying to convince the world of your worth and start proving it to yourself through action, everything changes. You become more respected, more admired, more unstoppable. Doing more means taking charge of your life. It means showing up when it's hard, working when it's uncomfortable, and pushing forward when it seems impossible. It means doing the work whether anyone is watching or not, whether there's applause or silence, whether there's recognition or complete disregard. It's in those quiet hours, when no one is watching, when the world is asleep, that champions are made. That's when you separate yourself from the average. That's when you build the edge that sets you apart. Every drop of sweat, every sacrifice, every quiet grind when no one believes in you is a brick in the empire you're building. Stay consistent, stay disciplined. Let your actions scream your value to a world that only respects results. Winning big isn't about being loud, it's about being laser, focused. It's about mastering your craft with relentless passion and silent determination. Those who win big know how to stay low, key until it's time to shine. They don't reveal their next move. They let success be the surprise. They let impact be the announcement. You don't need to shout when your presence speaks for you. You don't need to argue when your results end the discussion. The people who win big are those who are obsessed with progress, not popularity. They rise early, work quietly, and achieve massively. Their success is born from discipline, from sacrifice, from years of being underestimated, overlooked, and doubted. And they use that doubt not as discouragement, but as fuel, fuel to win, fuel to become undeniable. Power belongs to those who understand that silence is not weakness, it's focus, it's control, it's composure under pressure. It's the ability to remain calm in the face of chaos, to act when others freeze, to believe when others doubt. When you speak less, you think more, you listen more, you understand more, and in that understanding you gain the edge. You begin to see opportunities others miss. You begin to act with clarity while others stumble in confusion. You learn to anticipate, to respond instead of react, to lead without noise, and in that quiet strength, you become a force. Not just someone who participates in the game, but someone who changes it. So silence your fears, silence your doubts, silence the opinions that try to define you. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your vision. Stop announcing your plans to people who don't have your work ethic. Let them talk, let them speculate, let them underestimate. Every moment they spend watching you is a moment you're using to get better, stronger, and closer to the win. You owe no one your words. You owe yourself your greatness. Let your story be written not with words, but with legacy. Let your legacy be built not through chatter, but through conquest. The world is full of noise. Everyone's trying to be seen, everyone's trying to be heard, but real power, real greatness, it doesn't shout, it doesn't beg for attention, it moves silently, strategically, purposefully, it lets the scoreboard speak. It lets the trophies shine. It lets the success echo through the silence. So keep moving forward, keep building, keep grinding, and when it's all said and done, let them look back and wonder how you did it. Because the truth is, legends are not remembered for what they said. They are remembered for what they did. Words fade, noise dies down, but results echo through time. When you live with that level of discipline, when you commit to actions over words, you begin to develop a different kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't need to brag, the kind that doesn't need to convince. The kind that stands firm in silence because it's rooted in evidence. You start to carry yourself differently. You don't react to nonsense. You don't waste time trying to prove yourself to people who are not even on your level. You just keep building, quietly, powerfully, relentlessly, and as you move in silence, something incredible happens. You begin to separate. You distance yourself from the average, from the loud, from the scattered. While others chase attention, you chase mastery. While others fake perfection, you perfect your craft. And with every disciplined action, you stack wins. They might be small at first, unnoticed, uncelebrated. But they build, they compound, and one day you look back and realize you've built something unstoppable. Not because you shouted, but because you showed up day after day, without excuses, without distractions, without needing recognition. It's not about being seen in the moment. It's about being remembered for a lifetime, and people don't remember noise. They remember impact. They remember excellence. They remember greatness, and greatness is born in the shadows. It's forged in solitude. It's built by those who choose effort over ego, substance over style, results over rhetoric. You don't need the world's permission to be great. You don't need the world's validation to keep going. You just need the fire in your gut, the clarity in your vision, and the discipline in your habits. When you lock into that mindset, you become dangerous because nothing can distract you, nothing can shake you. You've gone beyond the need to prove, and now you just perform. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them watch. Because while they waste time speculating, you're stacking bricks. While they post, you produce. While they boast, you build, and eventually the silence you kept becomes the thunder they can't ignore. Your journey won't always be understood. Your hustle won't always be seen. But your results, they will speak louder than you ever could. So protect your energy, protect your time, protect your vision. Don't let anyone pull you into meaningless noise. Don't let small minds pull you away from your big mission. Stay quiet, stay consistent. Let your dedication write the narrative, and when the time comes, when your moment arrives, when the work you've put in can no longer be denied, step into the spotlight, not to talk, but to claim what you've earned. Because by then, the noise will have turned into silence, and in that silence you will stand tall. Not because you spoke louder than everyone else, but because you acted harder, worked smarter, and moved stronger. There is power in knowing you've done what most won't. There is power in knowing you've sacrificed in silence for a success that can't be ignored. So rise early, grind quietly, master the art of showing up without saying a word. Let every move you make be a step toward dominance. Let your discipline be louder than your declarations, and let your future be built by what you do today, not what you say today, because real winners don't announce victories, they earn them. And when you win big, you won't need to say a thing. The world will speak for you, the records, the impact, the legacy. That's the voice of true success, built in silence, heard everywhere. Never stop, because the journey doesn't end when you win once. That's just the beginning. True greatness is not about a single victory. It's about sustaining excellence. It's about outlasting, outworking, and outgrowing the competition over and over again. The people who win big don't get comfortable. They don't rest on past achievements. They keep evolving. They keep raising the bar. They understand that every level of success demands a new level of discipline, a deeper level of focus, and a quieter kind of intensity. When you move with that kind of purpose, you don't need motivation. You operate on conviction. You don't wait for the perfect time. You create it through action. You don't need to talk about your goals every day because your life reflects them. Your schedule reflects them. Your habits reflect them. The people who truly want it, the ones who are hungry, don't shout about it. They grind in silence because they know results are coming. They know that in due time, everything they've worked for will reveal itself. Not through noise, not through words, but through undeniable proof. Let your silence be your sanctuary. Let it be the space where you train, where you plan, where you sharpen your edge. Let it be where you outgrow the old version of yourself. Let it be where you evolve. The world doesn't need to see your every move. They don't need to know your every thought. They just need to feel the force of your progress when it hits. When you live this way, you become immune to distractions. You stop responding to critics. You stop wasting time explaining yourself. You stop defending your ambition. Why? Because you're too busy becoming, too busy executing, too busy mastering your craft. Silence creates mystery. It creates anticipation, and in that anticipation you build momentum. You create shock waves when you show up with something so polished, so powerful, so undeniable that the world has no choice but to stop and notice. That's what happens when you build in silence. That's what happens when you speak less and do more. You develop a reputation not for talking big, but for delivering big, for showing up when it matters, for producing under pressure, for winning with dignity, not ego. And don't mistake silence for passivity. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. It's control. It's choosing your moments instead of being driven by impulse. It's doing the inner work while others chase outer applause. It's building the mindset, the character, the discipline that the outside world doesn't see. But that's the exact foundation your success is built upon. When others are caught in the trap of seeking attention, you'll be stacking results. When others are trying to look successful, you'll be becoming successful. So don't rush to prove anything. Let the pressure make you better, not bitter. Let the doubts fuel your fire. Let the long nights and quiet days build you into someone who doesn't need to talk. They just need to show up. Because winners know that when the time is right, they don't have to say a word. Their life will speak for them. Their performance will shut down every critic. Their legacy will silence every doubt. That's the reward of staying silent and staying focused. The win becomes inevitable. You have to love the quiet. You have to fall in love with the grind. You have to embrace the fact that most of your journey will go unnoticed. Most of your progress will be unseen. Most of your victories will come long after the world has forgotten your promises. But if you stay the course, if you keep your head down, your work ethic up, and your mouth shut, there will come a time when your name echoes louder than anything you ever could have said. That's the power of silence. That's the reward of doing more and speaking less. So guard your mind, starve your distractions, feed your focus, turn your goals into actions, your actions into habits, and your habits into results. You don't need the spotlight to be powerful. You don't need noise to be effective. Just wake up each day with a mission and execute. Let others talk about someday. You live in action. Let others dream loudly. You build quietly, and one day, while they're still explaining their intentions, you'll be living your reality. Let your silence carry you to places where noise could never take you. Let it build your strength in solitude, shape your resilience in the shadows, and mold your character through the grind no one sees. Because when you operate in silence, you're not distracted by outside voices. You're not influenced by opinions. You're not controlled by praise or paralyzed by criticism. You become internally driven. You become grounded. You become unshakable. Success is not a performance. It's a practice. It's what you do when the cameras are off, when the likes don't come, when there's no applause. It's waking up early when no one's watching. It's staying late when everyone else has gone home. It's staying hungry long after others have given up or settled. The person who builds quietly builds deeply, and when the storm comes, their foundation holds. They don't crumble because they didn't rely on hype to hold them up. They relied on discipline. They relied on self-belief. They relied on action. There's a certain power in doing what others aren't willing to do, in doing it without needing to announce it. While others are broadcasting their hustle, you're living it. While they're talking about goals, you're exceeding yours. That's how you win big, not by telling the world what you're going to do, but by showing the world what you've already done. And when you finally step into the light, it won't be with noise. It will be with undeniable presence. You won't need to introduce yourself. Your results will speak so loudly that silence will follow you into every room. People may not notice your grind now. They may not understand your sacrifices. They may question your silence. But they will never question your results. Let them be confused. Let them wonder what you're doing. Let them misread your silence as stillness. One day, they'll realize you were building something massive while they were distracted by noise. You weren't idle. You were becoming. You weren't hiding. You were preparing. You weren't silent out of weakness. You were silent out of strength. And when that moment comes, when all of your quiet efforts finally converge into one massive breakthrough, there will be no need for explanations, no need for validation, no need to prove anything, because success is the loudest language. It silences every doubt. It answers every question. It turns every critic into a witness. And the ones who win the loudest are the ones who prepared in silence the longest. So don't just chase success, earn it. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. Don't get caught up in performing for others. Perform for yourself. Show up when no one is watching. Be great when there's no reward. Grind when there's no recognition. And trust that the results will come, not on your timeline, but on the timeline earned through relentless focus and disciplined execution. Keep your head down, your standards high, and your mouth closed. Let the quality of your work echo louder than your voice ever could. Let your actions stack so high that the world has to look up to see you. That's how you lead. That's how you dominate. The world won't know what hit it, because they never saw it coming. They were too busy watching the ones who talked, too distracted by the noise, too consumed with surface-level effort. But your power was brewing in silence. You weren't chasing trends. You weren't seeking claps. You were building something timeless, something real, something unstoppable, and that's the truth about quiet warriors. They don't arrive with noise. They arrive with impact. When you speak less, every word becomes weight. When you act more, every move becomes momentum. That's the life of a winner, not loud, not desperate for attention, but firm in purpose and rich in results. You don't have to sell people on your vision. They'll feel it when it manifests. You don't need to scream success. It's evident when you live it. Keep watering the seeds in private. Keep shaping your future in the shadows. The harvest will come, and it will speak volumes. The world may try to tempt you into noise, into showing off, proving something, seeking approval, but understand this: silence isn't the absence of confidence, it's the presence of control. It's knowing your value so deeply that you don't have to convince anyone else. It's walking into every room with peace, not ego. It's being rooted in your mission, not rattled by opinions, and from that place you grow differently, you build differently, you win differently. You start to understand that power isn't about popularity. It's about presence, and presence is built through preparation, through long nights, early mornings, and 1,000 quiet steps no one claps for. That's where power is born. That's where champions are made, not in the spotlight, but in the dark. That's where you become dangerous, not because of what you say, but because of what you've become through everything you endured silently. So let them underestimate you, let them overlook you, let them think your silence is surrender. Because one day your rise will be so loud it will feel like thunder, and they'll ask how you did it, but you won't need to explain. The winds will speak, the results will shout, the legacy will answer. Keep going, keep working in silence. Let your consistency be louder than any speech. Let your vision be clearer than any explanation. You don't owe anyone an announcement. You don't owe the world a preview. Just finish the masterpiece and let it speak for itself. The real ones don't talk. They deliver, and that's exactly what you're doing. Speak less. Do more, win big, and when you win, win with grace. Win with humility. Win like someone who knew the victory was inevitable, because you earned it in every silent moment that no one saw. That's your power, that's your truth, and nothing is louder than that. Nothing is louder than a legacy built in silence. Nothing commands more respect than undeniable results earned without a word. That's the difference between noise and greatness. Noise fades, greatness echoes. Noise is a moment, greatness is forever. And greatness never announces itself, it arrives. It shows up without warning because the preparation happened long before the recognition ever came. You become a force when you stop performing for others and start executing for yourself. You stop getting high on praise and start getting high on discipline. You stop needing to be seen and start needing to improve. That shift, that internal rewiring, is what separates those who merely dream from those who dominate. The dreamers talk about the life they want. The doers disappear and build it. Quietly, patiently, day after day, there's an unstoppable energy in doing what others won't, waking up when it's hard, showing up when no one's looking. Pushing past the pain without complaining, that's where the edge is formed. That's where excellence is forged, not on stages, not on timelines, but in the private war between you and your old self. That's the real battle. And when you start winning there, you win everywhere. Silence gives you space to grow without interference. It gives you freedom to fail without judgment. It gives you clarity to learn without pressure. You get to experiment, improve, and evolve without having to prove anything to anyone. And when you resurface, when you reappear with something brilliant, no one sees the chaos, the pain, the discipline behind it. They just see the product of it, and they call it talent. They call it luck, but you know better. You know it was built, piece by piece, in silence. Let your competitors exhaust themselves making noise. Let them drain their energy chasing attention. You preserve yours. Channel every drop into action. Use your silence as fuel, not fear. Let it remind you of who you are, and more importantly, who you're becoming. Because when your intent is real, your work is sacred. You protect it. You don't parade it. You guard it like gold, and you polish it every day until it shines bright enough to blind. When it's your time, there will be no need to declare it. The world will feel it, the energy of someone who didn't skip steps, who didn't fake the journey, who didn't pretend to be great but put in the pain to actually become it. That's real power. That's what wins big. Not ego, not talk, not hype, but relentless, humble, quiet execution. And if ever you're tempted to break your silence for validation, remember this. Silence earned through action holds more weight than 1,000 empty words. Let your silence be your armor. Let it shield you from distractions, from doubt, from delay. Let it harden you. Let it sharpen you. Let it elevate you. One day, the world will look up and wonder how you did it. They'll ask how you moved so fast, so strong, so suddenly, and you'll smile, not because you need to explain, but because you'll know they missed it all. The mornings you didn't want to rise but did. The nights you wanted to quit but kept going. The setbacks that hit hard but never stopped you, the hours, the reps, the work, the kind done in solitude. Speak less, do more, win big, and let every victory be a reflection of the silent war you won to earn it. Keep walking that quiet path, that path of the few, that path of the bold. And when you live your dreams through quiet determination, you become the example others never saw coming but will never forget. You become the living proof that it was never about flash, but about fire. Not the kind that burns out in a burst of noise, but the kind that burns steady, unshakable, even when no one's watching. That's the fire of the relentless. The ones who grind with their mouths closed and their hearts wide open. The ones who know that silence is not absence. It's presence, the most powerful kind, the kind that listens more than it speaks. The kind that watches, learns, adapts, and then strikes with precision. Every time you resist the urge to prove something, you grow stronger. Every time you choose to act instead of talk, you get one step closer to mastery. Because mastery is built in the shadows of repetition. It's built in the unseen hours when you're refining your craft, sharpening your mindset, pushing through discomfort. The world doesn't need your announcements. It needs your example, the example of someone who chose substance over spotlight, effort over ego, consistency over clout. You weren't born to follow the noise. You weren't built to be average. You were meant to rise beyond distractions, to elevate beyond excuses, to execute at a level that silences every doubt, not because you fought the world with words, but because you beat it with results. That's the way of the quiet champion. That's the mindset of the doer, the one who lets the scoreboard speak, the one who lets the legacy do the talking. You have no idea how powerful you are when you stop explaining and just start executing. When you stop waiting for motivation and create your own momentum. When you stop feeding your ego and start feeding your goals, you become unstoppable, not because you screamed louder than everyone else, but because you stayed focused longer than anyone else. That's the truth of winning big. It's not about getting loud. It's about getting real, real with your time, real with your effort, real with your purpose. The world may never understand your silence. They may call it arrogance, indifference, or coldness. But they'll understand your results. They'll see the mountain you built brick by brick while they were shouting on flat ground. They'll see the strength you forged while they were seeking shortcuts. And when they finally notice, it won't be because you begged for attention, it'll be because you earned it without ever needing it. So carry that silence like a weapon, carry it like a crown, walk with that quiet confidence that needs no audience. Live so deeply in your purpose that noise becomes meaningless and distractions bounce off you like rain on stone. Let every step you take be proof that action is the loudest voice in the room. Let your work echo through time while the words of others fade into the background. You don't need to be loud to be legendary. You need to be relentless, focused, disciplined. You need to care more about your mission than your image, more about impact than impression, more about doing than saying. Because the world doesn't remember the loudest, it remembers the greatest, and the greatest are rarely the ones making the most noise. They're the ones doing the most work. The life you build in silence will speak for you louder than any speech ever could. It will whisper to those paying attention and shout to those who once doubted. It will leave footprints so deep that they won't need to ask how you got there. They'll feel the weight of every step you took to arrive. Because nothing built in truth and persistence can be ignored forever. The world might miss your journey, but they'll never forget your arrival. The beauty of staying silent while you rise is that you eliminate noise from your inner world too. You start hearing your own thoughts more clearly. You stop chasing validation and start chasing progress. You stop needing to impress and start needing to improve. And once you operate from that place, nothing can break your focus. Not the criticism, not the praise, not even the pressure. You become your own engine, your own motivator, your own reason. And you begin to realize that power isn't in performance, it's in peace, the peace of knowing you're building something real, the peace of knowing you've traded attention for achievement, the peace of being so aligned with your mission that distractions lose their grip. You don't need to be seen to be valuable. You don't need to be heard to be effective. What matters is that you show up every day, quietly stacking wins, slowly building momentum, refusing to quit when things get heavy. That silence becomes your strength. It teaches you to stay calm in chaos, to move without warning, to lead without demanding. Because true leaders don't scream commands. They live by example. And when you lead through quiet consistency, you don't just inspire people. You move them. You create a presence that speaks even when you say nothing. A presence built from integrity, discipline, and relentless effort. Let every moment of your silence hold purpose. Let it be the container for your growth, the armor for your ambition, the foundation for your future. Don't worry if no one claps yet. Don't worry if they doubt you now. The longer you're underestimated, the harder your success will hit. And when it does, it won't just impress, it will awaken. It will show everyone what happens when a focused mind meets ruthless consistency. This is your edge, this is your path, quiet, disciplined, and determined. Let others waste time trying to convince the world. You'll let the world witness. You'll let the results do all the talking. Because in the end, there's no louder statement than a legacy built in silence. So keep showing up. Keep working harder than you talk. Keep choosing growth over glory, process over praise, action over attention. You don't need to say you're great. You just need to become great. And when that greatness finally shines, no one will care how long you were quiet. They'll only see how loud your life became. And when that roar finally echoes, it won't come from your mouth. It will rise from everything you've created, everything you've overcome, and everything you've become. You won't have to speak a word because your results will be undeniable. They'll carry the weight of all the early mornings, the silent nights, the battles you fought behind closed doors, the sacrifices no one saw, the tears no one knew about, the pain you turned into purpose. That's the reward of discipline, of silence, of choosing action over attention. You rise without spectacle, you grow without noise, you thrive without applause. And when the world finally sees the outcome, it will be because the foundation you laid in the dark is now shining too brightly to be ignored. They will see your greatness not because you screamed it, but because you lived it. You didn't wait for permission. You didn't ask for validation. You didn't beg to be noticed. You simply got to work, quietly, consistently, relentlessly, and that's why your victory is different. It wasn't built on hype. It wasn't held up by popularity. It was earned with sweat, forged through pain, and refined by solitude. It was shaped by your decision to keep moving forward, even when no one was clapping for you, even when the road was long and lonely, especially then. So now you carry with you a different kind of confidence, not arrogance, not bravado, but a calm, unwavering belief in yourself, because you know what you've endured, you know what it cost. You know that you didn't just chase success, you became it every action, every effort, every step you took without needing the world to watch. That's where you were becoming unstoppable, and that's what silence gave you. Not absence, but power, the power to rise without distraction, the power to focus without interference, the power to build something so strong that no one can take it from you, because what's built in silence becomes unshakable. What's earned without applause becomes untouchable. So stay quiet, stay sharp, stay grounded, let your journey be sacred, let your growth be your greatest secret, and when the moment comes, when the world finally sees what you've been building, stand tall. Speak little, win big, because your silence was never weakness. It was strategy, it was strength, it was preparation for something massive, and now you are ready. Let the results speak, let your life roar. Speak less, do more, win big, always.